Alrighty, welcome back to another episode of The 12, our epic campaign of discovery and adventure across the continent of Khorvaire. This story streams live around 6 p.m. Sunday here on Javelin Entertainment, and if you missed the last session, you can check it out on the channel page or by clicking the link down in the description. And we'll go ahead and get started for today.
Last time, back on the ship, Boko had helped catch everybody up to speed on the situation with the dwarven body, while dissecting the man as part of a physical inquiry to the artifice that was bound to him. While he worked, Boko revealed that he was from within the Mournlands and talked of a small village that had been destroyed by some kind of man who could breathe dragonfire. He also elaborated that he was searching for a disease that he himself carried and that he called the clean rot. There appeared to be no trace of this disease within the dwarf, but he was able to salvage most of the mechanism. As they decided what to do with the body, there was some discussion of eating the body, which devolved into questions on the dietary habits of the Underdark, before they decided to hide the body in a chest until it could be pushed out the window, piece by piece, at sea. Grisly, but effective. Cade was gifted her pretty pink pony by the Incubus and found herself eventually performing a mournful ritual for her lost comrade. Boko found Cade and asked her to scry on the source of a small voodoo doll, which Cade agreed to do the following day if they joined her for some stories. The group sat together and shared tales about family and friends. They spun yarns about fights and frightful creatures. They also debated the various intricacies of highborn politics, and of course the highlight, Theschault's nickname from his days at university. The stories continued throughout their journey, but eventually they found sight of the oncoming shore, and the continent of Khorvaire proper finally came into view. What would await them within the new lands? Which pass would they take to cross into the east? And how long will Blade Mommy be traveling companion? Let's tune in and find out.
So, you all have completed the about 3-day journey across sea within the ship. Now not just contained within the cabin, but able to move about freely. And you have finally gotten to the point where you have come into sight of this shore. And within the next few minutes to an hour, you will make will dock within this small port, which Anne had referred to as Cape View. But for now, you have these last few moments on the ship. I know that Boko had some interest in having the doll scried upon. Was there anyone else who had anything that they wanted to do during this time? If not, Boko, you can go ahead and actually, Cade, do you have audio yet? If not, we can save that for later.
Yeah, nope, I'm back.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, Boko, if you want to continue on with that conversation, we can.
How hungover is Cade?
Cade looks fine.
Interesting. This probably isn't her first time, is it?
No.
Yeah. Boko probably isn't in as good a shape as you are in the morning, but will approach you after the conversations of last night, and he'll say, "Regarding our conversation from last night, I was wondering if you could spare a scrying spell upon this strange doll that I've found. It seems like it is connected to someone that is very far away from here."
I guess. Remind me again, where did you pick this up?
I found this in the hull of the Red Ruin, right?
I thought this one came from the... I believe this one came from the marketplace on Port Crez, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, this was in the thrift shop.
Yes, this was in the bargain bin.
Even more interesting. I must have confused this with the severed hand that I had gotten from the hull of the Red Ruin. But yeah, Boko will say,
one does, severed hand versus voodoo doll.
To be fair, it was a handful of rings. A little bit more interesting. But yeah, Boko will say, "This was a something that Roland and I had picked up from Port Cress.
I suppose. Although I have a distinct feeling I'm really going to regret whatever I end up viewing, but I can give it a shot. Cade will kind of find a place to like sit down, cross our legs, and we'll cast scrying, focusing on the connection tied to the doll and whatever piece of that person was like left in the doll. She'd be focusing on that and trying to find the tether back to that person.
All right, and let me... Sorry, I meant to read up on this beforehand, but let me make sure.
Yeah, so it's a wisdom saving throw, and if I have a body part, lock of hair, bit of nail, or something like that, it's a -10 to the save modifier for whoever it is.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
We're about to spy on the BBEG right now.
Or just some random dude who pissed off a lover 10 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, and what's your spell save DC, Cade?
Come back here. It is... I had it open and then I closed out of it for some stupid reason.
Relatable.
That always happens. It's like, oh yeah, I'm all prepared, I have it open, and then I close it, and then, you know, roll 20 is like, joke's on you, I'm gonna take 3 minutes to load.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That, or you go to click on your sheet and accidentally hit one of your bookmarks.
Oh gosh, yep. And then have to reload all of roll 20. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
15.
15. All right. Well, the -10 definitely helped here. And then if you could, while you've got that open, go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Oh, okay. I expanded it out to a window so it wouldn't be closed, and now it's reloading again. Here we go.
That's how they get you.
Come on. I don't know. Jeez, I feel like roll 20 has gotten slower.
Well, here, I just closed out of mine. Let's see how long it takes me to get in.
Or it might just be me.
Bold move, Cotton. I think it's Druid and Cleric sheets specifically.
That's possible.
Okay.
We'll take a 17.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you begin to focus in on this small doll, kind of using the hair that was here to help guide whatever connection may still reside within this entity, you find your vision being swept away, kind of pulled into this magic as you all watch as Cade's eyes kind of shift with color. The sheen of golden green and black kind of covers her eyes as she takes a moment, and there is this energy pulsing from the doll. Cade, as you're brought across space and time, you are in this bright area. There's colors of all sorts, these reds and blues and yellows that are shining from the peripheral vision. And there is this immense green that you can sense around as it rushes towards the focus of this doll. You see standing there in leather armor, equipped in something akin to what is common among various sailors and pirates of the principalities, a middle-aged halfling individual. Kind of brownish hair hangs down to his shoulders, and he seems to be standing next to another individual. This individual is taller, thinner, female. This reddish brown hair that hangs down past her shoulders, and you can very clearly see a weapon at her side. She's dressed more elegantly. They're talking back and forth, and they're in this sort of garden walking along these rows of plants. And you kind of pick up pieces of the conversation as you're thrust into where they are. I wish they would just hurry up. This place, it's not nearly as interesting as the front lines. Yes, but it's much safer. This woman seems to be of elvish descent of some sort, talking to this halfling. I don't want safer. I prefer being able to take my blade and get into the mix with all of them. In this place, they just talk and talk and talk. Yes, but you have to admit, it is nice to be able to have all the food and drink that you can ask for. Yeah, I suppose so. And there's plenty of other benefits. And he kind of gives this wide smile, and you can now see these crooked teeth kind of glinting in gold, and the two kind of continue to banter on back and forth as they're walking along, just kind of making conversation about what they had been up to, the various kind of rumors that they had been chatting about that day. Fairly common conversation. But eventually, as they walk through these aisles of green, they get to this spot where the path turns into some central hub. There are paths leading off in other directions, but there is a stone platform. And upon that platform, you can see vaguely this shape, this golden shape. The elf moves out of view for a moment, and as the halfling walks up, there's some change, and the stone is opening. And the two begin to descend down into some stairs below, still chatting idly. And eventually, after the 10 minutes, your vision clears and you return back to the ship.
Did any of that look at all familiar to me?
Go ahead. You can make a history check for me here. And actually go ahead and make 2.
Okay. No.
Okay. You kind of recognized the apparel of the halfling as some sort of sailor or pirate, but outside of that, not much connected with anything that you're really familiar with.
Okay. Strange, I suppose. Although I don't really know that I had an expectation of what I was just going to walk into. It was a small halfling man, middle-aged or so, long brown hair, dressed like a sailor or a pirate. He was talking to an elvish woman with reddish hair, dressed similarly. They were walking through a rather elegant garden with paths, and they came up to a stone platform with some kind of golden shape. Couldn't quite make it out, and they went down a set of stairs through it. I'm not really familiar with the area. It doesn't ring a bell with me.
Austin, could I potentially leverage one of my feats into assisting Cade with determining this location?
What's the feat?
Now that I know that this isn't just like a child's plaything, that it's actually been constructed and is seemingly purposefully useful, could I take a really close look? And this is potentially up for debate here, but if I am proficient in a set of tools to which I could be able to create this item, I could determine the craftsman of origin, or perhaps the location of origin or style, maybe, that might give us an area on the continent or thereabouts, potentially.
Perhaps. Okay.
Could I craft one of these with tinker's tools, do you think?
So
Or
it wouldn't be,
leatherworking supplies?
yeah, it'd be closer to like leatherworking or
maybe tailoring?
Yeah, like tailoring or a sewing kit, something along those lines is what you would need. And you kind of, after spending a lot of time with this, after seeing it, you know that you could replicate it physically. However, there is some magic imbued into this that is something special. Something that you would have to find or dissect an example of to get a better understanding of how it works. It's not just innate with tools or with artifice. There is something beyond that that actually has made this connection powerful rather than just symbolic.
I don't think it's a good idea to dissect this particular item.
They did say that they were wish that people would hurry up, that they wanted to get into the fight.
And I will say, sorry, okay. I will say with Cade and you kind of working on this together, working towards an origin, Cade knows that there are plenty of individuals that make these types of things more as like to get out stress or as kind of a joke. But they're fairly common in shanty towns across this area. However, they're not usually actually functional. Those are usually limited to individuals that have connections to hexes or jinxes or manipulative magic. The first one that comes to Cade's mind, as due to relevant events, would be a hag.
Don't say it. Fuck. I knew that was coming.
But that's not the only thing that can create it. That's just the most obvious. But you can continue on, Cade.
Yeah, no, quick question. So I don't know the exact place, but given my knowledge of the general principalities, and this looks like a fairly cultivated garden, can I make the deduction that there are not many, I don't know of many places that would have something that civilized? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, assuming that this person is actually within the principalities, absolutely. There are only a handful of places that would have anything that nice.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say this, I didn't recognize the area myself, but given how structured the gardens were, if they are in the principalities, it's highly, there's only a few places that they could be. It's nowhere I've been, but there's not that many places that look that nice scattered amongst the islands.
You also had mentioned that the individuals were wearing garbs of a pirate's make, perhaps. Are there any of these places that have this style of construction that are close to the water or ports of some kind, and also perhaps close to a battlefield?
I mean, given the context, it could have been Port Crez for all we know. I haven't been to the city myself. I don't know it very well. Perhaps there, if it is in the principalities, there's not many places that are that structured and cultured. I've been to most of the uncultured places.
Yeah, and Cade, you would know that Port Crez definitely does not have anything that nice. Port Crez, while it's populated, it doesn't have anything on the elegant side outside of a single tower. And to your knowledge, there's no gardens in that tower, at least on the outside. And this was very clearly.
Oh, sorry, not Crez.
Are you thinking Port Verge?
Verge.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Port Verge is much more on that. You're all good. I just wanted to make sure that was clarified.
My brain's not functioning today.
You're good.
Perhaps Port Verge. I mean, I don't know the area very well, but if they are in the principalities, that would be my guess. There's plenty of conflict going on right now around there. The garb would make sense, and the gardens could be properly placed. You ran through there, right? That top area, yes. Where the church was.
Mm-hmm.
Were the manufactured gardens or groomed gardens well taken care of?
I do distinctly think that Roland and Clyde walked through gardens when they were there.
They did.
Oh, at the church?
Yeah, they were destroying them.
Yeah. Could we go find Clyde and see if he can potential or corroborate the garden style with what Cade had seen?
Yeah, when you talk to Clyde, at least what Cade is expressing, there is some similarity there. Because Clyde, you remember that you were in specifically a chromatic arboreum that had a lot of different colors. Though you don't remember from what you saw any type of maze-like plant walls that were tall. And certainly not those two things together.
Okay.
Now referring to this individual as the voodoo halfling. Well, perhaps this is something we can get a better understanding of later.
All right. Then as you all begin to land on the shore, any final things you would like to do before you disembark?
How many followers do we have at the moment?
Too many.
So as soon as you guys disembark, Willie will kind of go off on his separate way. But you guys are still traveling with Anne, the Incubus, as well as Greta, the Tamargon. The rest is just the party.
You're gonna have to remind me, since last time, my armor's good, right? Like, I have everything fully equipped now, or is there still stuff that I can't do?
No,
Yep,
that's
you
correct.
can have it for one session.
Yeah, your armor is fine.
Oh, and you're finally touching land, so you're not going to drown.
Until we get a random encounter with rust monsters.
Hey, my stuff doesn't rust. What do you mean? I literally put water through this stuff.
Oh man.
Nah, man. He uses 316 stainless steel for his armor, okay? It's highly corrosion resistant.
I doubt that. I distinctly remember 40 sessions of Theschault going, is there any way this is 100 gold worth of metal? I don't think he was picky.
This is true. All right. So somewhere about there is where you guys are departing at Cape View. And actually just outside. The dock is a little bit outside of the city. So just for a recap, everybody should be able to see the map.
Yep, we need to go south, not north. That's what I know.
So you guys had departed out of the Tamargon village, where the storm had hit just around the straits of Port Verge, and you guys had all ended up in the city of Port Verge. From there, you took the vessel from Anne over to Regalport on the island of Greentarn, and then sailed to Cape View, just south of Dreadhold.
Okay, I will insert this for Nicholas. When we get to solid land, I just want everyone to think of the scene from The Pacifier where the little girl stumbles out of the car after her sister drives, and she's like, land! Land! That is Sindri.
Oh, I believe it. Just full on begins digging and just shoving his head right into the dirt.
He is making dirt angels.
Dirt angels. And there's definitely some sailors who are like giving him a bit of a Really? Like, it wasn't that bad. It was not even too many storms. What are you talking about?
Clyde walks by. This is his 4th ship in like 3 weeks.
Is that including
like
the
his
whale
third
or
wreck.
not including the whale?
The whale counts.
The whale counts.
The whale
goodness.
died. The whale counts.
Yeah, how many of those ships were wrecked?
Too many.
Most of them. But it's fine. We're on the continent now. The worst is behind us.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Oh, he missed it. He would have loved coming in right as I said that.
What?
As we...
Oh,
Oh, is that David?
yep. It
Yeah,
is
David just showed up.
Welcome back, sir.
Hello.
Nothing to worry about. The worst is behind us.
Oh, awesome. I didn't actually hear anything, so
Doubt.
no, like legitimately, I got in and then I heard, oh, I'm sure he'd love getting in as soon as I said that. That's the first thing I heard.
It's fine.
Roland, you're pretty well traveled, aren't you?
Fairly, especially in the region that I believe we're currently in.
Not quite
Do you
yet.
know of any? Do you know of any really fancy gardens?
It wasn't the church we came from.
Please tell me we're not still on Green Tarn.
No, you guys have just docked outside of this small village of Cape View.
We scried on the voodoo doll.
Yeah, they did. And
Gotcha.
started a new quest line.
Well, the only thing approaching fancy gardens that I can think of is on Green Tarn. I did not run into any fancy gardens on my way through the Mirar Holds.
Oh, I don't know how to toggle that. Oh, there it is. I found it. Roland,
That's
yeah,
decent.
you
I didn't get it.
Pretty fucking good.
you kind of just thinking about it. Were definitely gardens that you worked through with Clyde within the Citadel of Light at Port Verge, and there were definitely gardens that you had seen signs for and had seen indications of the city above in Regalport. Outside of that, you don't know of any nice cities that have gardens. There's large cities, but you've never been into them, and none seem to kind of jump out. But similar.
You did use the word gold in describing the like scrying travel, so perhaps Regalport is high on the list when we go back there.
Because, we need to go to the library eventually.
Take your rope. Just in case.
No. We're going to get there, and I'm going to turn to everyone and say, okay, everyone, give me your rope. You can't go in.
Can't go in with the rope. Kink shaming.
There's already enough binding going on with the books. They don't need rope.
All down in the back rooms, too.
Yeah.
Roland,
Everywhere is just secretly a sex dungeon now,
I mean, we're
Secretly?
traveling with Anne, so we can't talk.
secretly. That was the response to that.
You ever wondered why Roland was so unfazed by the orgy in the temple? He's seen better.
I was gonna say, don't you hate it as a DM when your players make up stupid nicknames for your favorite NPCs like Blade Mommy?
I love that. I don't know what you're talking about. Those are my favorite things. All right, but yeah, as you guys disembark here, the map should be up for those who are in the game, but you guys are kind of on this stretch of land in between two larger harbors that kind of sticks out. That on the tip is obviously Cape Far and Dreadhold, but the rest of it kind of connects up with the main continent and through the larger city known as Tantamar, which Sindri and Cade were familiar with, as that's where they had kind of departed at the beginning of this story. And looking up towards, on one side into the north, where kind of in the direction of Dreadhold, there is a large mountain that kind of takes up most of the view. Towards the southwest, there are much smaller hills, and you see that it's really a village. There's only a few small buildings that are kind of a mixture of stone houses with thatched roofs and kind of wooden huts. But there is a large central kind of keep or castle built up on one of the larger hills around this village. And you can see multiple towers with more of a more of a stone laid type of roof that gives it a much firmer structure. But there are multiple towers, there are multiple kind of bridges. It's a elegant piece for the small circumstances that surround it. And there are a few kind of fishermen and other individuals that are milling about the docks here. All of them in fairly plain clothes, fairly kind of still coming off of that winter look with kind of thicker beards that they're just starting to trim down. Some of the women are out still in kind of heavy coats to cut that spring chill.
Maybe we should go back to Dreadhold, see how it's doing.
No.
Nope.
There are
Sounds
two
like a bad
roads.
idea.
There are two roads, one that leads to the north and one that leads to the southwest. The one kind of so there's the road from the dock kind of leads up to the city before the roads split out in those directions.
I mean, while we're in the area.
No.
We'll go to the funeral of that guard lieutenant Sindri murdered.
And kind of speaks up.
Theschault, you need to change your armor again.
And kind of speaks up. I think it would be fascinating if you all were to go back. It would be a very short trip, as I'm sure that you would be imprisoned almost on the spot. Though if you could manage to escape the prison twice, that would make you, as far as I know, the only ones to accomplish such a feat.
Absolutely not.
Wait, Iz has escaped twice, hasn't he? Or was he?
No,
he
Iz
not
has never
from the
escaped. Yeah. We can prestige.
We'll put a pin in that one. We can come back around after we, don't do that.
After we don't do that. So what is it that you all are headed out to do? I assume since you wanted the continent that we'll be heading southeast. Sorry, southwest.
No, not yet. Wait.
Right into the sea.
Perhaps we should travel quickly. I imagine in close proximity to Dreadhold, we are well known.
Yes. Quickly and probably stay off the beaten path if we hear any horses coming. I don't travel by land. Nearest city is southwest is Tantamar. So I don't know if we want to make that our next destination.
Sounds good
Good
to
as
me.
place as any. If we're going to take the route that I know across the mountains, then it's a good bit further north.
Yeah, and Roland, you know that whenever you took the path, you had kind of sailed around the first half of where the continental portion of Lazar is and the first half of the Moror holds. So you kind of know from the second half of Moror holds on. However, Sindri had kind of traveled out of that right half and kind of knows the path between the city of Misna, where he kind of exited out, and Tantamar. but it's really just a road.
Excellent.
And kind of pipes in as well. From here, looking down to the southwest, we're at Cape View now. In between Cape View and Tantamar is a small village known as Rich Deep, nestled within the hills to the southwest. Once we hit Tantamar, you can either head south down to Cliff Scrape, which gives you access to vessels that can take you anywhere in the world, or we head north, up through Cinna and Needle Thread, up to either the far north of Jorvika and Scairn, or to the west into Misna, and from there into the Mror Holds to get to the rest of the continent. So you have three main
Tantamar kind of
paths.
puts us, like, right in the middle.
Yeah. You're right in the middle, and you can either go south to get to a lot of boats, you can go north to get to a few boats, or you can go west to get through the mountains.
Well, I don't know about all y'all, but I'm a little tired of the whole boat thing. It ain't been going great. Maybe someone got the right of it.
Yeah, I think my vote's to avoid the water. The middle path seems fairly most direct route, and we have someone that's at least traveled it before.
Well, then lead on. If you would like to circumnavigate the city, we can keep to the woods on our way to either Rich Deep or Tantamar.
Wait. Hold on. You don't do things for free.
Is there more to that?
You perfectly just said what was going through my head. Is there more to that? You're giving us instructions and offering guidance. Is there more to that?
I would think that after our time traveling together that we would be seen as companions, and as such, traveling negotiations are average day-to-day contract. Though if you would like to have more, I'm always willing to offer. She gives a sly grin once again.
I've sampled for myself enough. I don't want to get greedy while others are around.
Oh, that's a story I must hear later. Well, looking at the sun, it's about midday, so we have a few hours if we want to get some travel in, or if we would like to stop in the village and get some provisions for the journey.
Let's get supplies and get a move on.
Shopping episode.
Well, do we think we can get more supplies in this village or in the town of Tantamar?
Well, Tantamar is a good 5 or 6 days journey by foot.
Okay. Nope, we're getting food.
Cape View, we could find food, we could find horses, we could find many a thing.
All right, let's get a wagon and some horses.
Anne, a question for you, actually. Since you are going to be traveling with us, there is going to be plenty of time to tell stories. Perhaps you can tell us of the dwarf with the metal contraption in his chest.
And she kind of looks at you strangely. I'm not sure I know which dwarf you're referring to.
On Greentown, there were quite a few individuals that seemed to have mechanical components grafted into their flesh. Is this something you do not know of?
I did know of such a thing. Not entirely certain which dwarf in particular you were referring to, though.
His name was Gordo.
Emphasis on the was.
My.
She was just gonna kind of flash her new piece of jewelry. Subtly, but...
I imagined that you all would not be able to keep your patience, but murder, or at least killing an individual...
Self-defense.
Entirely self-defense.
Fascinating.
With extreme prejudice.
Of course.
They said what you kill is what you keep. They were trying to kill Boko, so we killed them.
So we kept him.
Regalport is the break, especially, but Regalport in general is quite a fascinating place. I'm glad you all got a taste of it. But I can't say that this individual, this Gordo, rings any bells.
But you do know of the process they use to graft this metal into their flesh.
There are many processes that are engaged within Green Tarn. Green Tarn is complicated. Regalport specifically. There is a mass of resources on the island, but everyone believes if you leave the island with any of it, you'll be cursed. And that anyone leaving with gold or gems or crystal from the island inevitably finds them lost.
Bro, I am just racking up curses, aren't I?
Now,
They can't collect if they all gotta fight through each other.
this has
At
made
this point... Go ahead.
This has made Regalport a hub of wealth, but that wealth has nowhere to go, and so they have been developing internally for decades, if not centuries. And so some levels of artifice have evolved, including types of fusions between flesh and mechanics that I'm aware of. Most commonly, this is done by those who are involved with one of the many gangs that carve up Regalport's ownership. As you said, the rules of the streets, or one of them, is that you keep what you kill, and so most individuals have paid for protection from some gang or another.
I would love to hear more of this in our travels.
Of course. I'm sure
I
we'll have
imagine
time
we're
to share many stories.
Walking and talking.
Yeah. And as you guys are walking up towards the city... Sorry, was there more?
Oh no, just rolling that at the end of that, just muttering under his breath. So it seems all cities have the same underbelly.
And kind of walking up towards this city. And there is this quiet...
Real quick.
Yeah.
Austin, real quick. I'm going to kindly suggest that Sindri and Clyde put their hood up.
Okay.
And keep a low profile, given how close we are to Dreadhold. And while their bounty is low, they have a bounty.
Don't we
They're
all
wanted.
have bounties?
Clyde
They're wanted.
Clyde won't
Not
fight.
by us, but they're wanted.
No. Damn.
So I will say that for at least the time that you guys spent in Port Verge, and after having time to reflect on it, you know that the reason that there were, or at least likely, the reason that Sindri and Clyde in particular had bounties were because they were the ones who chased Eve through the portal, and Eve likely saw them and reported them. So you all have some sort of things that you're concerned about, but the reason that those two appeared in Port Verge was related to them chasing after Eve. not necessarily anything to do with Dreadhold. That may be an entirely different.
Okay. Never mind then. We're good.
So you guys could all have bounties for Dreadhold that you don't know about, but the ones that you saw were related to Port Verge.
We'll have to compare the posters.
Yeah, we should check the bounty board really quick.
I thought it was Dreadhold because those were also the two that interfaced with the warden, so I thought that's where they came from.
And
You two are just
left
getting in so much
body of like his second in command in his office.
I'll have Roland and Clyde go ahead and also roll me a history check.
Oh, okay.
That's gonna be mildly difficult from a car.
No, I got you.
Okay, thank you.
Clyde, you've heard stories of the Arbiters, and they tend to handle their matters internally. And you know that Dreadhold is an extension of that organization, so you're not sure if they will what that is, but there's a chance that that knowledge might not be public.
Okay.
They don't broadcast escapees.
Just come down real hard themselves. All right.
What? Why release information that can lower your stock price?
No one's ever escaped.
Somehow that's worse.
You know, sometimes it takes a door falling off.
Wow. Too soon?
As you guys pass into this village of Cape View, it's a small, idyllic village. There are people working on lumber. There are people, small blacksmiths. There is people carving wood into various barrels and crates. People selling some different foods in a small marketplace. There's a stable that you can see. It doesn't seem to be very large, but there is a stable here. And it seems to be a traditional village. Boko, you had mentioned the kind of wanted board. Are you looking for any sort of like communications board?
Absolutely.
All right, so you kind of walk up towards this center area and kind of looking around, you do find this large notice board, really. And there are on there a few bounties. Most of them are for creatures that have been posted by various farmers for wolf has eaten sheep, or rumors of ghouls in the deep caves to the south. Things like this that seem to be kind of just the common folk kind of posting various small rewards, usually not monetary, but usually favors or trade goods. Occasionally there'll be some item of significance, like the farmer is offering up a necklace or an amulet to those who can kind of return or kill the wolves that took care of his sheep. But for the most part, it's kind of communication. Where there's some things that are kind of like gossip or propaganda or rumors. You hear kind of one of them talks about fishermen that are disappearing in one of the cities known as Eisen. There's also stuff about kind of upcoming events. Apparently there was just a dance for the summer solstice that had occurred a couple days ago. And things like that across the board. You don't see any wanted posters for any individuals.
Okay, here's the thing though, guys. We can't ignore the wolves. If we do, they'll have taken over the city by the time we come back in 5 levels.
It's a small town. It's fine.
That and the fishermen disappearing? Interesting.
Yeah, that makes me slightly worried, but they went to the ocean.
Wolves are taking them.
No, that's a mistake.
Also, just in general,
wolves.
Just in general, you guys do live in a fantasy atmosphere, so there are much more common creatures in day-to-day life than there are in our world, so keep that in mind, that it's not uncommon for there to be random disappearances that people put up or creature attacks. Like, that is relatively normal.
Just a voice in your head.
Still things to keep note of if you want, but don't feel like that is aberrant behavior, is all I'm saying.
I've never been in a civilized area before. This is all aberrant to me.
Yeah. And speaking of that, a few of you are kind of getting more attention. Specifically, Boko and Cade are kind of sources of some interest. Sindri and Jasira a little bit as well, of kind of some whispers and looks from different people. Some of the kids kind of whispering and kind of pointing before they kind of duck behind and hide when they catch your eye. You're definitely, there's notice here. Most of these people look fairly similar, kind of the same palish skin, the same similar features, strong individuals, kind of hardy folk of the land, and you all kind of are different, and they're taking appropriate notice.
The DM has confirmed it. Me and Cade are more interesting than the rest of you.
Fine.
I was gonna say
More
for
physically
once, just
unique?
not sticking out like a sore thumb. But
You mean the rest of us can pass a stealth check? Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Just wait till I whip my ram hood or my deer skull out and put it on. Then I'll be passing my
Is
stuff.
that what the kids are calling it these days?
Damn.
Well, I definitely want to go to the stables and see what they have in the form of riding to maybe make this 5-day trip not that long.
All
Not
right.
5 days.
Clyde, why don't you go ahead and roll me a d10 and a d4?
Sure. D10.
How many
D4.
horses they have available?
All right, yeah. So
And how
they
many are dead?
no, they have 7 horses and 3 ponies currently within the stable.
Ooh.
3
All right.
ponies.
And the horses, should I assume that they are draft horses? Because it doesn't make sense that a small fishing village would have,
4 horses?
or
Yeah,
even riding horses.
there are. We'll say there are 2 riding horses, but yeah, most of them are draft horses and from the draft stock.
Yeah.
They have a couple that are kind of mainly for kind of communications, that are kind of for to act as couriers. But yeah, most of them are those hardier creatures, and you can tell
Draft horses.
at this. This area is at a slighter elevation, so even though it's kind of to the south, there are you can tell that this area does get some snow and heavier winter weather in the winter months, but it seems like that is kind of abated as the spring has come.
All right. Definitely going to want to get some horses. But Clyde wants to ask me if there's anyone that might have a wagon that they're looking to offload or not need, since this is a big woodworking town. They might have wagons that they're not necessarily using right now or would be willing to sell.
Yeah, the stable hand there kind of tells you that there are obviously a lot of wagons, but none that they have actively for sale. So you'd have to kind of bargain and try and find someone who's willing to sell it to you or offer a high enough price.
All right. Can I try and see if he knows anybody?
Sure, give me a persuasion check here.
Would this count as a check to get information from people or disseminate news?
Yeah.
Just because I get advantage.
Yeah.
Persuasion.
Magnetic personality Clyde
24.
over here.
Yeah, absolutely. So he kind of refers you to a couple different places. He had heard that there was the shepherd or one of the shepherds of the area had kind of been losing a lot of sheep and had kind of offered a couple rewards, but wasn't getting enough attention. So he might be willing to sell his cart in exchange for some cash to try and up the bounty that he's placed. There's also an old man whose wife had just kind of died, and he may be looking to move or be able to be persuaded that his work is not longer as important, not having to support a family. And so both of those could be options that would be willing to take a lighter price than others.
All right. Clyde is going to want to leave this with a payment on 2 draft horses and a riding horse.
Okay. And it
are
should.
Are you using the prices?
Yeah.
All right, just tell me how much. Okay.
Yeah, it should be the ones in the book. Sorry, I was trying to look for where they're at.
It should be 50 per draft and 75 for the riding horse.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So 175. All right, and then Clyde will go out, tell the party that he got some horses. You just got to go pick up the wagon. What's everybody else doing?
Clyde, you're proficient in land vehicles, aren't you?
Yes, and I really miss my wagon.
Cade would be taking the time to go get supplies for the group. If anyone wants to come with her.
Jasira will happily go with you as she wants to find some yarn/knitting materials for when she has her knitting needles. So.
Yeah, Boko will go
We're
with
going
us.
to be a traveling gypsy band now, aren't we?
I mean, I'll go with for the company.
Also,
Yeah.
we're finally on land. We're getting a cart, and we have 2 artificers. Can we create like a spider tank or something?
Whoa.
Need some
Now-
turrets, some blades.
Boko,
some
first of all,
cannons.
I feel like we're creating the cart before the horse here. We could create a mutant horse, and then... I'm just saying, machine horse.
Steam-powered horse.
Oh goodness.
2.5
Make it so you can
artificers.
assemble the cart and the horse like Megazord or something.
The legendary cart horse. The fools. They'll never see it coming.
We're not putting the cart before the horse. We're putting the cart inside the horse.
Mm.
I
Organic.
don't like
The
that.
power!
I don't like that at all.
Okay, maybe I should have bought these horses.
As the group kind of looking for some supplies, they don't have like a general store. This is just a small village, but they do have individuals who are selling their goods and kind of as the day kind of wears on into kind of early evening, more and more people are kind of showing up to kind of trade their goods more so than sell them. But you do see that there are various shepherds who are selling yarn made of sheep's wool. There are various individuals who are selling rations and water canteens and things like that, rope or bedrolls or candles or lanterns if you need them. All of them fairly basic material. And so if any of you want to purchase any of those materials, you can purchase them just at the player's handbook price for any of the common goods. For the yarn, we'll say that that's just a silver piece for kind of a ball of yarn for you, Jasira.
Ooh, let's get different colors and yeah, let's do like 5 different colors if possible. Or if they just have yarn, we'll dye it ourselves.
Yeah, this village has might have some of the natural colors, so like blacks and browns and tans and whites.
Ooh, that's good.
But getting any of the other colors, you'd have to make or buy some sort of dye from somewhere else.
And how much, or if we're talking shirts, sweaters, wearables, how many products do you think we'd get out of one of these balls of yarn? Would we need multiple balls of yarn to make one product, or?
I think depending on the size, we'll say a shirt is 2 balls of yarn.
Okay.
So anything around that is about 2 balls of yarn for like a main piece of apparel, like a shirt, a coat, a pair of pants. Something smaller like a scarf mittens is like half a ball of yarn. So you could do like 2 of those, like a scarf and mittens or a scarf and a hat with 1 ball of yarn.
Okay,
Did you
I'm
say
thinking.
shirt?
I did say shirt. I did.
Give it to me.
Real quick. There are
Boku's
8
gonna
of
get to
us
see the process of
traveling.
Give me my knitting needles, Boko,
Ada?
and you'll get a
I think
shirt.
there's
I'm just
9.
saying.
9. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's
7
9
in the
of us,
party,
and it was
Greta and Anne, if you count all of them.
That's the
Okay, and there's-
amount.
it's 7 days to Tantamar from here, or
It's
5
about-
days.
Hey,
It,
5 days, but we're just got a horse and a cart, maybe. So hopefully that should affect the time a little bit.
yeah, it was tentatively 5
before-
days on foot in good weather. So
Okay,
weather and things can affect.
Yeah, Cade will just buy the rations for the group. Everyone has 1 week of rations, including Greta and Anne.
Perfect. We'll just call
So-
that.
Oh yeah, Cade will come back and like distribute them and like toss a package to Anne and be like, "Your food for the week."
Thank you kindly.
Okay, so guys, while we're here, this may sound weird, but like I feel like we could really use the confidence boost, and We
Go
have
help
an
a villager?
opportunity to do something really easy and just hunt some normal-ass wolves.
Well, that's fine. We gotta head out and get the wagon anyway. Cause I'm pretty sure the sheep farmer's gonna be outside of town.
Oh, wait.
And he's
Wasn't
probably having
there...
trouble with wolves.
Yeah, as I say, wasn't there one of the guys was like, might be willing to part with it because he needs money to up his bounty? Isn't that what Austin said?
Yeah, that was the shepherd who was... You can kind of put together that was the shepherd who had posted on the board where he clearly wasn't getting enough attention, and so he's looking for ways to get more attention on it.
So, here's the deal, guys. We buy his cart so that he can up his bounty, and then we collect the bounty.
Get the money back.
Rude. Or we can kill his wolf problem and get a cart in return.
Or we could get a cart and money.
Are we really that short on money?
Money is always short. There's
Oh,
always
Cade
something that you want to buy that you can't afford.
Yeah, Cade is not currently short on money. Let me amend that statement.
I'm also going to buy 2 weeks worth of feed per animal. It says it's 5 copper per day.
Sweet. Thank you.
I'll just make sure I get that all mapped out for me.
That would be funny. We get 2 days outside of Cape View, no food for the horses. We also have...
Can you turn into a horse?
We also have hunters who can gather stuff.
Horses eat
in our
grass
travels.
and vegetables.
That's true.
I'm not going to feed them the wolves.
I think Roland is a little overkill for a hunter. We're not hunting with bows here. He's got a fucking sniper rifle. Assuming you can hit something.
This is just, you know, advanced hunting.
But yeah, I'm ready. I think we should go talk to this shepherd.
Yeah, so with a few horses in tow... Oh, go ahead.
Also, Boko, with my record, wouldn't you say that Roland's a little underkill for hunting?
Yeah, fair point.
Oh
Also,
goodness.
I don't know if you saw the Discord notice or not, but did you see why I got inspiration this week?
I'll take a lighter to say your fucking face.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh.
All right, so kind of heading out of the village as the evening is continuing on, the sun is kind of setting. You go kind of with directions up to a small hut on one of these hills, and you can see a handful, more than a handful. You can see about 36 sheep still on this hill next to this hut, and you do see kind of a large cart next to it, and kind of going up on knocking on the door. You see a older man, maybe in his 50s or 60s, graying beard, kind of graying hair that's sparse on top, a slight hunch to his back. What? How can I help you? Are you here to get rid of the wolves?
Well, that, and we heard you had a wagon you no longer was needing.
Who told you that?
Horse dude? Never got his name.
Horse dude?
Oh, you mean Caleb down at the stables?
Yes.
I can't say I was looking to sell my cart. Right now,
you might be willing to part if we could get rid of this problem. You see, my friends here with the big gun and the big guns, points to Sendry.
Listen, if you could take care of the wolves, you could have the cart. It's yours.
Well, all right. Well, that's what I wanted to hear. So, what is this wolf problem? They just been eating some of your sheep?
Yeah, if you look down at the bottom of the hill, you'll see the carcasses. About 6 or 7 of them that have been eaten over the past couple days. It's getting bad, and I haven't been able to find hide or hair of them. I've got a longbow, but it's been a few years since I've shot it. I would much rather have someone who is young and capable of take care of them. I don't know how many there are, but if they're eating that many, it's probably a number. You should be able to camp out on the hill and just keep an eye out should you see anything. Though I recommend staying upwind so they don't catch smell of you before they get close.
I wouldn't worry about that. I got something for it.
Well, if you all are willing to do this is great news. Do you need any dinner? Anything to eat? I've got a stew pot.
Yeah.
It's small, but we could cook up a few things while you wait.
Well, absolutely.
And as you gather in this kind of small hut, the shepherd Cyrus kind of cooks you up some stew. It's very basic, but is nice. And you guys chat for a little bit, and his eyes are just flicking from one individual to the next, kind of looking all over Boko's miscellaneous mechanisms, nearly drooling at the sight of Anne and Cade, intrigued by the large armored individual and the small stone man. There are just constantly questions that he peppers to you, but eventually you all kind of excuse yourself and head to where this hillside is, and kind of looking down, you can see the remnants of the corpses that had been there, kind of torn and broken open, blood kind of staining the grass, as there does appear to be probably 6 or 7 of these sheep corpses just picked clean of any meat.
All right. If we can see that from here, I would like to ritually cast Tiny Hut with everyone real close.
Okay.
This way, they can't see us in. They shouldn't really be able to smell us. And everyone else can leave with no problems.
Hell yeah.
Is it necessary for us to wait? I mean, we have a hunter and potentially a sheep. And he gestures to Roland and Cade, respectively.
Well, I hadn't really thought about using Cade as literal bait.
Cade glares at Boko.
Do wolves eat dead things? We could use him.
We already wasted the dwarf.
I still do have part of the dwarf. I used him to cast my Find Familiar.
Oh my gosh.
The
You just
Khorvaire
have
is
the
Gordon
hand, you have
flavored.
the thing.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so
I don't know if I particularly want to be surrounded by a pack of wolves.
There is no chance that we would let you go out there alone. You would have our support, of course.
From a distance.
And Cade again turns, looks, and glares a little bit.
at least they're honest about it.
Roland kind of elbows Boko a little bit and goes, I see why you do this. This is fun.
Or, we could just set up watch. They're scavengers. Well, I mean, they hunt, but if there's a perfectly good dead sheep carcass, they'll come find it.
How picked clean are these carcasses?
They are completely picked clean. I mean, there's still sheep.
Oh, never mind.
There are still, again, 3 dozen sheep up on the hill that are still alive.
All right, how much costs?
Is it exactly 3 dozen or about 3 dozen?
About 3 dozen.
Looking at these sheep carcasses and the marks within, does it seem like these are just normal wolves, or is this something fucking exotic?
You can give me a nature or investigation check. If it's an investigation.
Nature, and I'll take the investigation.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, go ahead and take the investigation.
Buy 2 of the sheep from him. He was trying to sell them. Just, kill them down there, and I'm sure the wolves will come. If not, Can eat them tomorrow.
But killing this many sheep, either it's a lot of wolves or something else is going on. Or I'm just used to being screwed over by Austin DMing.
Boko, you kind of look.
Either it's a lot of wolves or.
One.
Boko, is that your
wolf.
dagger in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Boko, looking over these corpses, you can see indications of these dark gray fur, and that's kind of nestled into the mud around this. And you can see kind of the edge of some paw prints that seem to be kind of muddled with other footprints and with the kind of gore around. Roland, looking at the actual pieces, kind of looking at what remains, the skin itself, the lacerations seem to be made by teeth or by claws that are equivalent to the size that a wolf would have. They're definitely not some large dragon teeth, and they're not any weapons like daggers or swords or anything. And so
I wasn't worried about dragons, but now I'm a little worried that it's dragons.
By the indications around, it seems to be fairly consistent with the wolf type attacks.
Okay, so it was a mother dragon who brought her babies out for the hunt, and the babies got the kill because she was teaching it. Got it.
Bell tracks.
Yeah, while they're doing this, Clyde has a little fire going. He's making some drinks.
Okay.
Got a little bit of the stew out, keeping it warm.
Kind of all... Sorry, what was that, Cade?
Cade was just gonna say, what? Not wanting to be sheep bait, Cade's just gonna recommend that we all just take turns taking watch.
Go give him 5 gold, buy 2 of his sheep, he'll be ecstatic, he's trying to sell them anyway, and then kill them at the bottom. I don't want to be here for 5 days if we're trying to save time.
What time are we trying to
I mean, I assumed that they would come back tonight, but, you know.
Usually they'll need something to incentivize them. If you have fresh meat out there, they're more likely to just come to it, not lurk around. But I'm stuck in this bubble now that I've made, and I ain't making it again.
I mean, sure. Cade will go back to the farmer and knock on his door.
I also have an idea if we're going to make this an active rather than passive process. Both Roland and I can tinker items that can create non-verbal sounds. Perhaps those of wounded animals.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Or, I mean, a wounded animal is pretty juicy.
Yeah, fair. We can throw a rock on the ground and go on the ground that goes.
Yes, you certainly can. And Cade, as you kind of go up there and kind of negotiating with the farmer, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check to try and get him to convince him to buy in on this.
Oh, I mean, Cade would just knock on his door and be like, we just think the quickest way to do this is if we just use one of your sheep to lure them in. How much does a sheep cost? You sell these, right? I'm assuming you use them for wool, but I'm assuming you also use them for meat. How much is a sheep?
He kind of looks at you a bit strange and just kind of, well, I guess I could sell you one for 5 gold pieces.
Sure. Cade doesn't even ask, question, or think about it. Just drops 5 gold pieces in them.
Okay.
Is there any particular one you want me to, like, leave alone?
You can stick to the ones on the southern side of the hill. They're the ones that are oldest and ready for slaughter.
Fair enough. Thank you. And Cade just walks away and waves.
You kind of go down and grab one of them and kind of lead it down to where the others are set up within the hut. And in the meantime,
One
Anna's kind
sheep
of
required.
Anna's kind of looking at you all. I have to ask, why are we wasting time helping a farmer with a wolf problem? Just curious, is this...
Because if you don't take care of the little people, sooner or later it comes back to bite you.
I also just
peacefully now saves a little time on the road.
The wagon seemed easiest, and honestly, we were kind of already going to be staying here for the night, so might as well camp out, kill a few wolves, get a free wagon.
I suppose so. To be honest, I normally go about other methods, but whatever works. You all do seem to be more of the heroic sort. Have you thought about a name for your merry bunch?
Not particularly.
You may look into it. It helps a lot with branding, or so I'm told. And as you all kind of sit there, Cade kind of tying up one nearby these other carcasses, the rest of you kind of keeping watch for now as Clyde kind of brews a few nice drinks with the remnants of the stew. Anyone who is keeping watch can roll me a perception check.
So Roland will go ahead and sleep for the whole night, but with the eye patch on, he is able to also maintain watch the entire night.
All right.
I would highly recommend that someone else back up his perception check, but he will have a perception check for each watch.
Jasira only needs to be asleep half the night anyway, so she'll be up at least 4 hours to watch.
Also, guys, with the name, we have a golden opportunity right now to call ourselves the Sky Hentai.
No.
No. We're trying to get away from our origin story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, Cade will take first watch.
Okay, what about Skywalkers? Or is that going to get us copyright struck?
Call ourselves the Blade Mummies.
No. Yeah, so Cade will take first watch along with Roland's constant vigilance. I'll throw Sindri in for second watch.
Okay.
I'll roll for him.
Jasira can take the last two then, if anyone cares.
I can wake up and do a watch, no problem.
All right. So as you guys wait over the first kind of 2-hour period with Jasira, Sleepy Time, Roland, and Cade kind of keeping an eye out. Cade, you catch in the distance some howls, but watching over the sheep, nothing seems to appear within that time. Jasira, if you'd like to go ahead and roll me another one, if you're staying up still through the second watch. And
Indeed.
I'll roll one.
Those wolves sound cute. I almost don't want to kill them now.
It's fine. When they come to us, they're all going to be eyes.
They will smile at you. It's not going to be pretty.
All right. So as everyone has kind of laid down for rest, and Sindri is kind of keeping a watch, but is kind of more interested in the ground, is kind of digging his hands through the dirt, building small dirt castles. Jasira, you're starting to feel the weight of exhaustion laying down on you after the long travel, but you're still kind of keeping a keen eye out. And you can see a shadow starting to kind of dance across the hills in the light of the night.
Other suggestion for group name. The eyes have it.
Yeah, Jasira's just gonna, maintain eye contact or at least visual of that shadow in case it gets closer.
Yeah, and as you do watch, it does indeed get closer and closer as it kind of walks along very slowly along kind of the edge of the hills. And every so often you catch the edge of the shadow as it's far in the distance at first, and then you kind of watch and wait, and you'll see it up on another hill now a little bit closer. It still seems to be a few hundred feet out, but it's closing. And you can't tell at this point how many entities make up the shape, but you can kind of see the fuzzy shadow on the horizon.
Okay, for now she'll just keep tabs until she passes either over watch someone else or someone else wakes up, and she'll let them in on the information.
All right. So you kind of keep tabs on it. Sindri kind of slowly begins to kind of pipe up and watch, but not able to quite make out exactly what you're calling out. As this gets closer and closer, you're kind of watching, and eventually you can see now suddenly closer than you had expected it. It's maybe 200 feet out on a hill just to the right. And as you watch, it doesn't appear to be... You see kind of this long lupine shape, this four-legged creature that is stretched out. And you see as it lifts up its muzzle just into the sky. And then you see as it stands up onto its back legs and begins to kind of crunch forward before dropping back down onto its fore and moving closer.
Yeah, she'll try to start waking people up. Guys, it's not just a wolf.
Who would have thought? Oh, stay inside the barrier. Can't see us.
Are Anne and Greta sleeping here too?
Yeah.
Hopefully. It fits 9, exactly.
We're cuddly.
Actually, you look around. Greta is here. Anne is currently not.
That's fine.
She probably has like a fabulous hotel room in a pocket dimension.
She's staying with the mayor.
She didn't invite us.
I think she did, but offhandedly, just by calling us, kind of slobby for mucking it about here.
Fair.
If we wake up and this is going to become... Wait, did we get a full long rest?
No, you got a short rest.
Short rest.
But since before this...
Yeah, you guys have had long rests, so you should be at full everything except for the scry that Cade did.
Oh, I'm still completely worn out, but...
No.
Click our button here real quick.
Oh, magically, you feel much better.
Just in case this becomes a thing, Roland is going to cast Longstrider on Jasira again. In case this
Boko is going to cast.
I guess you're doing it, Roland.
I didn't know you
was only gone for an hour and I learned Longstrider. I'm going to leave again.
Hey, yeah.
Roland is he's going to cast a spell. What do you mean? Boko pulls a knife out.
There is suddenly this sound just... And Jasira, you kind of look over and you can see this sheep is already eviscerated, broken open, and this large form, maybe 8 or 9 feet tall, but hunched over like a large, thin bear that is just tearing into the sheep. You're like, how did it get here so fast?
You said it was wolf-sized.
Guys, no. I said it definitely wasn't a wolf, and I asked if wolves were bipedal.
The teeth are wolf size.
Cade's gonna cast spike growth in the center where that werewolf is.
And it should be good to know, everyone with ranged weapons that aren't magical can shoot this motherfucker.
That aren't magical?
Yes, because magical effects can't pass the barrier.
Theschault!
Cade's peeking her head out and is going to cast spike growth on the center of where the creature is to kind of slow it down.
You can step out and come back in, no problem.
All right, you kind of lean out and toss out this spell, and as it apparates instantly, there is kind of the head of the creature seems to already kind of be sniffing into the air as you emerge, and as this spell erupts, there is immediately just this launch into this frenzy, and I will I guess we'll have people roll initiative here, and we'll just kind of bring tokens in on the side. That's not what I want. Gosh, I don't know any of these
that spell's
tokens
getting cast and immediately tucking back into the bubble.
Alrighty. Let's bring over people. Hopefully these will still come in. Yeah, okay, cool. Wow, that looks giant. Okay, I've got Roland, I've got Sindri. If everybody else can go ahead and pull out their tokens and then roll for their initiative. Oh, and I need to get Greta.
Can you remind me one more time how to do that?
If you just drag like from your character sheet onto the page, it'll pull your character in.
Oh, beautiful. Okay.
And
Everyone hang out in a 10-foot bubble.
Where? Oh, there it is. The general direction begins to kind of turn and race in towards that path, and so what that is, we'll say roughly the whole 20 feet. So that's 5, so 4, so I need 8d4 piercing damage from you, Cade.
Hell yeah.
If this is a were creature, it's probably a human.
As
Not
this
for long,
creature
though.
bounds towards you, you can see that it's, again, maybe 8 or 9 feet and does have wolf-like appearances. You see essentially a normal-sized wolf maw, but on this larger humanoid creature. It does appear to have the signs of a werewolf. And as it comes forward, as it just kind of slams, just piercing through, cutting up against its arms and legs, as it kind of slams against the dome, kind of curving around as it just sniffs and snarls, trying to identify what exactly is happening here. And let's see how it responds. All right. And in a fight or flight moment, not exactly sure what's happening, it begins to kind of slowly just walk around the orb. So from Cade's side, around past Jasira, past Theschault, towards Roland, just sniffing, looking, observing, but not able to see or sense anything through the orb that has protected you all.
Orb.
Next up, we have Jasira.
Mm-hmm.
We had a second to prepare before this combat started, right?
You all were kind of getting ready
we
to
all
prepare,
woke up.
and then Cade just kind of launched it and kind of tossed you into it. So you're ready for it, but you don't have any prepared actions.
Okay. But was I able to just like whip my shield out real quick?
Yeah,
just in case
absolutely.
this-
Yeah, your stuff is equipped and ready.
Cool.
So I think the first thing that's going to happen is Jasira's going to say, you guys keep saying werewolf. What are we working with here? What are we expecting? Do I punch it?
Got a few
How
seconds.
much does the party know about werewolves?
Why not? Heard
I think that's
stories.
above the table. I think
Yeah.
we just go for it.
Yeah,
Do what you want to do,
come
Jasira,
out
in this
last time.
moment.
Yeah.
All right.
Punch it with a fist.
So I guess-
it's over.
So since Jasira was watching it stalk forward, and I guess witnessed it, running towards the sheep and devouring it, could she gauge how fast it could run or move?
It's moving faster than you expected, so it's fast.
But is she
Hella fast.
faster than it now with long
It's
strider?
difficult to tell.
Rats.
It's not something you just know. It's fast. You're fast. Who's gonna win in a race? Who knows?
Well, let's be friends and talk it out after I punch your lights out. So, guess we're gonna do that.
All right, so moving out around, and it is towards the bottom of this orb here. So as you
she's
kind of
actually gonna stalk behind it and then try to like
and I'll grab
sneak from behind and punch it in the back of the head.
All right.
And stunning strike. What's up? It's a good time. Let's see if it hits.
Monk abilities.
Monk stuff.
All right. Give me that attack roll.
Yeah. Okay. Monk attack.
Also, we're high enough
Garbage.
level now. Your fists count as magical, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think so. It's either one more level or I'm on that level. I'm not sure which.
I think it's level 6, isn't it? It's like the level after extra attack.
Let me check my spreadsheet.
Not with an 8.
That would
Yeah,
make
8
this,
doesn't
this
hit,
fight a little bit easier.
so you know that.
But she has
Yeah, no,
multi-attack.
Believe me, I do. I'm trying to see really quick. Where did that other one go? Oh well, I'll look at that in a second. We'll keep punching. Scrolly, scrolly, scroll. Scrolly, scrolly, scroll. Come on.
6th
I'm
level,
sorry, not-
unfortunately. 25 does hit though.
Okay.
We said 6th level, unfortunately. Aren't we level 6?
Are you? Are you guys 6 now? I
Yep.
forget.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will. Ma B.
Yeah.
All right. So
Damn,
6,
should be
and you
magical, so
wanted a stunning strike.
Yes, please.
What's the
Damn, but
DC for that?
Which
That's gonna
It
be-
has really good con.
it is
Yeah.
the so it's
What about
8 plus proficiency plus wisdom.
Yes.
So that should be 15? Nope. Sorry, math is wrong. 8, 11, 13.
Okay. Yeah. So it does pass.
We'll do it again.
All right.
But you
Make
still
another
give
attack.
it a magical fisting.
Wait, oh no.
Attack again.
Sorry,
Oh.
ignore the 6. I meant to click the attack, and it did damage instead.
Hey.
But it's also 25.
Raising.
Yeah. 25 will hit.
So
4 more.
we'll punch it for 4, and we'll do one more stunning strike attempt.
All right. And
Please.
it passes that one as well, unfortunately. Even higher that time.
Well, I believe we get one more chance. 1, 2, 3.
Whack.
I
One
have
more whack.
one more whack. Let's go.
8.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that'll
Hell
hit.
yeah.
23.
Hell yeah. Motherfucker. Let's go. One more time. Come on, Austin. This
Still
is the
passes, but
One.
you
God damn it.
do a lot of
Get
damage.
back in the
Smacking
bubble.
into it as it just snarls and kind of spins around towards you now.
Back in the
Oh, him
She's
angry.
gonna say, okay, that was cool, and she's just...
Oh.
Yeah, she's just gonna wait, I guess.
All right, Cade.
Because we're in melee, so yeah, there's no point to break it.
Okay, so Wolfie is... Okay, so spells can't go through it, but I can, like,
Step out and
pop
cast.
my cast, like...
You can walk through the barrier, no problem. The only one who can't is Clyde.
Okay. Yeah. Kate's gonna, like, pop half her torso out and be like, holy fuck, that thing's terrifying. And, she's gonna point her staff up at the sky, and, lightning's gonna crackle, like, her eyes suddenly, like, flash like lightning, and she's gonna do call lightning.
Nice.
Yo.
Cool.
Such a fun spell.
So good.
Well, no, she's gonna try if roll 20 will behave.
Ooh, probably not then.
Big if on that one, though.
Look, you little... Why do you hate me so much, roll 20? I don't understand.
It really doesn't like you. Roland, you're on
it-
deck, just so you know.
Every freaking time. Okay. How about now?
Roland, I think your weapon is considered magical, isn't it?
Real quick,
If I
Jazira,
fire,
did
yeah.
you stay outside the orb or did you run back in?
She's still outside.
Can we run in it? I mean, yeah, I wasn't going to try to leave the melee.
Okay. Wait, fuck, hold on, let me read something again. You're in a bad spot if that's true. Hold on, let me read something. 2 and 5. I can make it. Okay, we're fine. Okay.
Can make
Just
you not
strike
get
over
fined.
here.
Hey, there we go.
Over
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
15 dexterity save.
Yeah. We're gonna do a little adjacent strike. I'm gonna strike slightly over here so that it zaps the werewolf but does not zap Jazira.
Appreciate it.
Okay. It does fail that one. For 14 lightning. All right.
Yeah, and then Cade rushes back. Yeah, Cade pokes out, stabs her spear into the sky, and then like her eyes flash lightning, and then a bolt just comes down and goes whoosh, and poor Jazira's ears are probably ringing.
Also, this farmer who just hired these fucking weirdos, and now all of a sudden lightning is striking, his whole farm's burning down.
Oh no! Oh god! There's no farm burning down. All right, Roland, you are right on the inside of this bubble. This werewolf is right on the outside. Jasira is kind of on the opposite side of it from you. What are you doing?
Okay. Oh, Jasir's on the out. Well,
Yeah.
okay, so good question.
Mm-hmm.
So advantage.
So A is the dome opaque, Clyde?
No, it
No,
wouldn't
it's
be.
not from the inside, I
when
don't
we were
think.
gonna be- Yeah, no, we can.
Is
see
it opaque
outside.
from the outside?
From the outside coming in? Yes, I didn't want him seeing us.
Okay.
But I could.
Which means that I am unseen but can see.
Yep.
Sure.
Yes.
And then second question, DM, with the spells and magical effects can't extend through the dome or be cast through it, does that include magical ammunition?
No, I don't
have
think so.
the
That's not a
ammo
spell or
with you
magical
in the
effect.
hut.
Okay. Excellent. In that case, I will go ahead and back up so I'm not within 5 feet, and since I'm unseen, there's no attack of opportunity. I wouldn't hit anyway since he can't hit through the dome.
Yep.
Now
And,
everybody's ears are ringing.
He'll just kind of look around and go, "Plug your ears." Aim down sights and skadoosh.
Oh, shoot, Jasira.
Actually, first, for a bonus action, since he doesn't have to hide since he's already unseen,
Uh-huh.
I'll do the insightful manipulator thing and see if I can get any benefits off of that from this wolf. So it's my investigation versus his deception, I think.
Okay. Investigation. Oh. What the heck? Man, even I roll bad for you.
Bugger off. How bad was it?
You got a 13. He beat you with a +0. Oh gosh. All right, where is this? Insightful
It's okay,
manipulator.
We get him out early. We get him out of the way early.
Okay, well,
So,
you learn
ability
one of the
score?
creature's ability scores. I'm just gonna say with that, you learn his charisma is a 10.
Ah.
Since I gave that to you
Gonna go for
anyway.
Constitution to help zero, but okay.
Yeah, you know, it's fine. Cool.
Okay. Shoot him in the head with advantage, please.
I can do
And
that.
sneak attack?
Well, I can try to do that. It's just the
Come
rifle,
on,
right?
let it work.
Yeah.
18 will hit.
And then there should be a sneak attack modifier, and
Yeah, I got it
Ooh.
triggered.
Ooh,
All
Pew, pew, pew.
right.
that looks good.
then if it fired from my sheet, it should also have Savage Piercer where I reroll damage.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I think it should be good. Okay. Well, Roland, how do you want to do this?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
There we go.
Just after Jasira gave it the old 1, 2, 3, 4, just imagining the last hit kind of cracking the head over towards the dome, and as soon as the head cracks over towards the dome with the neck at an odd angle, just a bullet goes straight between the eyes.
Nice.
Yeah, just cracking it over, kind of twisting him off to the side, and Roland just in this moment as Cade has lit him up with the light from the lightning, just fires. This bullet pierces straight through the skull, and the body drops down onto the ground. And you are all...
Since I was ready in initiative, can I use my action to try to yank this guy's soul?
Ooh. You got
the soul canister is ready.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Jasira this guy.
Are you gonna curb stomp that head?
I'm just gonna reach out and touch him. You guys obliterated him. Pokeball, go!
With a bullet through the head.
Go ahead and give me that intelligence check.
All right, let's see here.
Ooh.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty
Okay.
That's really good.
As this creature drops down, Jasir, you can immediately see it starts to undergo this kind of reverse transmogrification as the hair begins to instantly start to fall out, skin begins to start showing, and Boko just reaches out and kind of rips and pulls as there is this dark spectral entity that is ripped out of the back of this creature and pulled and siphoned into his mechanisms within his arm.
Does it explode?
It doesn't explode.
Oh.
Boko looks
Are
at
you sure you
Jasira with like just the proudest face.
And Jasira can't see anything because the dome is opaque.
But you're looking at Jasira, you just don't know why she isn't reacting to you.
So, did she not get to see this? I mean, you said she got to watch the wolf do the thing, so maybe she has some idea? Is that an insight?
You definitely have an idea. You definitely know what happened.
Cool.
Okay. You saw Boka's hand reach out. You just can't see the face that he's making.
She's just over here like, yeah.
Jasira and Cade and Theschault being those who are nearest to the body. You all see as this figure, again, under this reverse transformation, reverts back to a humanoid form, and you see a relatively tall but lithe feminine figure lying without any clothes, just this tattered mots of hair across her body, this darkened hair that is matted around her head, unmoving with this hole in her head kind of blown out the back end.
I'm gonna take whatever cloth that I have, might just be my cloak, and just put it over her.
All right, yeah.
No. Cade, is everyone else like reacting normally to this? Because Cade's gonna be like, what the fuck? How did that turn into... Who's this woman? Anyone else?
It's abnormal, I will admit, but I've seen arguably worse, and currently I want her to be covered. We can talk about that.
Theschault, within Karnath, werewolf attacks used to be fairly common, but a few decades ago, they have actually gone almost completely extinct, and werewolves are now very, very rare, and they are hunted with extreme prejudice by some of the inquisitions of the church. And there's entire, and that's the church of kind of Thrain, related to this new Church of the Silver Flame. So not the sovereign host, but kind of this new religion that has taken up, and there is a new actual dedicated order that you would be familiar with that kind of got its start within the countries of Breland and Thrain, when there was a large lycanthropic overtaking of an area right along their borders. And they kind of started this new inquisition to get rid of all lycanthropy. And so within the human kingdoms, they've been pretty much completely extinct.
So the Church of Thrain is their main enemies, huh?
I wouldn't say it's their main enemy. Well, I guess to werewolves, yeah.
Werewolves specifically, yes.
Yeah, there is, and I think it's the Order of the Silver Hand, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay. I'll have to give me a second and I can confirm that. But there's an actual sect of the Church of the Silver Flame that is completely dedicated to removing or eradicating lycanthropy. Sorry, Order of the Silver Dagger. Order of the Silver Dagger.
Dagger.
Being a intellectual from the city, does Theschault know a bit about werewolves?
I guess that's but I would think so.
Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Oh, excellent. All right.
And remind me whenever Clyde gets back that he can roll one as well.
Oh, sweet.
Because he actually might have more knowledge. Yeah. Absolutely. You've got book knowledge. Where's your history at?
Nah.
Oops, that should be at advantage.
Not my best roll.
So yeah, Theschault, you know about werewolves, and you certainly know about the Order of the Silver Dagger, and about them eradicating it, because it's been a big deal and it's often talked about as kind of a major historical event. But outside of that, the specifics about werewolves, you've certainly never seen one. They're supposed to have been extinct for decades. And so you don't know how they work or how they function. Roland, on the other hand, you have definitely read plenty of stories about werewolves and know the basics about them being transformed humanoids, the rumors about them coming out during full moons, the whispers about them only being affected by silvered weapons, which is clearly not entirely true. Things such as that are familiar to you.
It makes thematic sense with how much research I would have done into shape changing.
Yeah, exactly.
Are these the breed of werewolf that are elective transformers, or are they victims to this disease?
I think Roland would know that there is a bit of a difference. And well, we will go ahead and
also, guys, I knew it. The juxtaposition of wolves devouring sheep and fishermen going missing.
The fishermen are the werewolves?
Yes.
I don't know if that was the point you were
making. To be fair, the fishermen were disappearing from an entirely different village, but
the fishermen are disappearing because there's a Cthulhu monster in the water.
So Roland, you do know that kind of the indications is typically those who have less control over it are ones who were who contracted lycanthropy recently, and kind of looking over the body, you do see a couple of wounds. Some of them seem to be defensive wounds, like a something that you would have gotten attacked from, and the creature may have been attacked by something and had to defend itself or attacked its attacker. And you also see some around like kind of the
like a 0.68 inch diameter hole on the bridge of the nose.
No, in addition to that, some that looks like they were created by bladed weapons. And you also see kind of a significant portion of the ribs of this creature that were at one point kind of tore up, but both of them have almost completely healed. Though you are also aware that werewolves do have some enhanced regenerative abilities. So exactly how long ago these wounds happened, it's difficult to tell.
Okay.
So in character, Cade's like, I mean, sure, people can transform. I transform, but I'm in control. That, whatever this is, she was not in control. Anyone know what's going on here?
She's a werewolf.
I thought these things were supposed to be gone.
Can somebody please explain what a werewolf is?
I second that. What does that mean?
Don't let them bite you.
They can transmit a curse through wounding you. I thought they were gone as well. I'd read of them in history books. But, Boko, you in particular should stay away. You have a knack for collecting curses.
A predilection.
To my knowledge, it is a curse. And the people cursed by it don't always know what's going on. It's unfortunate.
How much?
But
How much trouble do you think we're gonna be in if we show up at the farmer's door with a dead female, saying that this was what was eating his wolves?
A dead female, tufts of werewolf hair, and an eviscerated sheep.
Also,
the evidence is compelling.
Sure she's the only one.
Clyde brings up a very good point. If this is indeed a curse that is transmitted through bites, what had affected her?
Is likely still out there.
Exactly.
I was reading in town. There is a rumor of people going missing in a town some distance from here. If there is another one of these creatures somewhere in between here and there, perhaps the two things could be related.
And if multiple people are going missing, that means that the werewolves, assuming that that is why, in the other town, are not stopping at sheep.
Interesting. Perhaps in our travels through this area, we keep our eyes open for any persons or creatures having gone missing.
Cade's gonna look up, I'm assuming, Roland would have mentioned the moon at some point. Cade's gonna look up, is it a full moon tonight?
So looking up and seeing kind of the various distant moons, the largest one within the sky, it's kind of a waning moon, definitely not full. Though looking across the various other ones that you observe, there is...
I forgot there are multiple moons in this world.
Yeah, there is that bluish color from one of the nearby moons that does appear to be nearly, if not entirely full.
Okay.
Damn, werewolves have it rough in this world.
Clyde, go ahead and roll me a nature check.
Sure.
And you can have it at advantage, actually.
Even better. Gonna need it. Nature.
Okay.
I was
Rip.
literally I was gonna ask if it was which moon it was that I would think, because I know there's specific ones to werewolves.
Cade would most likely know the names of the moons. Does Cade know which moon is the blue one, considering that she's a star druid?
Yes, so... I gotta remember. I always mix them up, so I want to make sure I don't get this incorrect. I know, so both of you just innately know the moon's name. And I think it is, but if my thing will load. Okay, it's not that. I thought stream might have blown up on me. It might still blow up. There we go. Oh, maybe. No, it would be Therendor. Yeah, so it's the one of the larger moons.
Okay. Do they all transform under Therendor's light, or is it every moon does this? That would really suck.
Well, I don't know about werewolves, but a lot of... Well, there's some other ones, depending on lycanthrope. Kind of depends on what flavor you get.
Clyde, give me a history check.
Given that there are fresh carcasses from recent attacks, I imagine this isn't just like a one night at a time, every month kind of thing.
So, Clyde,
You
know that there are various effects that can happen within the moons, and the moons are very complicated, and there's not just a single correlation between werewolves and the moon.
Clyde has spent time studying
the moon
specifically.
And you kind of think back to some of these stories, and suddenly something hits you. You saw on the board that there was the summer solstice just happened, and you remember stories about summer solstices in particular being very problematic regarding lycanthropy whenever it was rampant throughout the human kingdoms. And there's a period of about 4 days around the summer solstice where one of the moons is full every single night, for 4 days in a row, right around the summer solstice.
Oh,
damn!
Talk about a hangover.
Damn.
Whew. And what day are we in for that summer solstice?
So the summer solstice was yesterday, but the period is around the solstice. I'll say with that check,
4 days.
No, so it went 2 days prior and 1 day after. So theoretically, tonight would be the last night.
Okay.
So tonight's our last night to kill the werewolf coven.
Well, if we really want to, we could follow tracks. Know how much y'all want in this cart.
Or we
Shouldn't
could
have
just
any werewolf
moonbeam
problems after
everybody
this.
in the tomb.
Everyone,
Step right up.
Gather up, stand close together, pack
Just
in, pack in.
right here. Come on, everybody in.
If it only hurts a little bit,
All
you're
in the
good.
orbital
If it hurts
laser.
a lot, I'm sorry. We have something to tell you.
Okay, so logically, to get this curse, another werewolf has to bite you, yes?
From what
That
I've
is
heard,
one of
yes.
the methods of transmission, yes.
Okay. Do werewolves travel in packs, or are they kind of alone on their own?
Well, it depends. Some of them are the lone wolf types, some of them band together into massive armies and take over cities.
And Roland, you would know, both Roland and Clyde, you would know that typically they definitely tend to be loners, and that specific historical event, they were under some other exterior control. Some other entity had bound them to their will.
Yes, but that still justifies the engineering answer of it depends.
Yes, absolutely. I'm just putting some context that you would be aware of.
Okay, well, it looks like we have a lone villager woman here, likely attacked. I mean, so there might be one other out there, most likely?
Or two,
Now
or
that-
three, or however many other villagers have gone missing.
Now
the
that she's
minimum of
transformed
one.
back, there's no sign that she was a werewolf. Is that correct?
You can give me an investigation check if you want.
Not from my skill set, from us essentially presenting the body to villagers. Because otherwise we're stuck here with the human body.
So
That we'll have
looking,
to dispose of,
you
again.
see a naked humanoid woman, and she looks like shit. And you see just mats of thick gray fur around her. And she's clearly suffered from wounds that probably should have killed her. So there is enough to remove reasonable doubt, but there is nothing concrete.
How old is this woman? Just because I remember hearing that an old man recently lost his wife.
This woman appears maybe in her mid to late 20s, younger than what would seem to be appropriate from the context of that one.
Hey, don't.
Unless that man is filthy rich or something, then we have other conversations we need to have.
I mean, this is a podunk town.
Yeah.
What's the man's name? If it's Hugh, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, we did the job. I think perhaps let's just start with the farmer, and maybe he can talk to the villagers and we can give him all the facts so that they can keep their eyes out and maybe no one goes out alone at night on a full moon.
Yeah, maybe they should start breaking out the nice silverware for more than fancy occasions.
Do you think these people here
What does that mean? Oh, sorry.
The lycanthropes don't like silver.
Interesting.
Or moonbeams. Ironically.
Noted.
And, well, yeah, I'm going to need one of you artificers to melt me some of these coins into arrowheads to put onto these. Because this is going to be a problem otherwise.
I'm sure we can take care of
that. Cade's going to ask... Okay, maybe do we go get the farmer now while everything's kind of fresh, or do we wait till morning?
These people well read enough to know what a werewolf or lycanthrope is.
If they aren't, then they're superstitious enough for us to convince them.
Yeah, Theschault would know that most of the human nations would maybe think of one as a legend at best. None of them have ever seen one, certainly. And there are definitely people out there who just flat out don't believe in them.
Perhaps we should show him now then. There is no time like the immediate current right now.
The present.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still getting used to these idiots, as you call them.
Idioms.
Yes,
idioms.
That is what I said.
Clyde, maybe you put on your best smile and you and Sindri go down and get the farmer?
Yeah, we shouldn't leave the body alone, that's for sure.
Alright, I can do that. Bubble's gonna go away, though. Clyde and Sindri will make the trek. What?
One of the others of us can go get him so that he can see all the things. Can see that the werewolf was attacking the bubble.
I'll go. Roland, Sindri, will you come with me in case there's more out there?
Yes. Alright. You know what, Cade? Good speed. Hope you get the best stone. And you're gonna get bardic inspiration so that at least in spirit, Clyde is going with you. Yo.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess we're gonna walk down the hill and go knock on the farmer's door.
All right.
He's gonna sit in his bubble.
You wander up to the farmer, and after some conversing on encouraging him to come see, he kind of makes his way down as you're... are you trying to explain what happened before you get there, or once he sees the scene?
I'm gonna say... We fought the thing that attacked his sheep. It wasn't what we expected, and you should be prepared for something unusual. I was quite thrown off myself, but perhaps it's best if you just see this, but prepare yourself.
He willingly comes down and kind of approaches, and you kind of guide him away from the dome towards the aftermath, and he just looks at it a bit strangely, just, what in the... What did... Wait, where's the creature? What killed her?
So, this is what we saw. our friend was on watch. She saw a monster on the hill, and in a blink of an eye, he was down here eviscerating the sheep. And I'll point at the eviscerated sheep.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check at advantage.
Okay, sure.
With inspiration.
Yeah, with Bardic, I guess, so a D8.
Oh yeah, we need that.
Oh no!
Dude, there's a reason that Cade wants Clyde to take over.
Well,
Could I use guidance on her as well?
Sure, I'll allow guidance. Yeah, you knew this was coming. If you want to roll a d4,
You know what? Fuck this. I have inspiration. I'm gonna roll the persuasion check one more
What
time.
is the number? Because my roll 20 will not show me what the number
it was a
is.
4 and a
It was
1
a
at
4 and a
disadvantage.
One.
Or at advantage.
1 plus 2.
Roll 20.
It's okay.
It's a
my
9.
God.
It's a 9 plus 2, so 11.
Plus inspiration, plus guidance.
Well,
Yeah, the inspiration was a 2.
There is
so
a lot of
it's
evidence
11.
here, and this is just a villager. The DC was only 5.
13.
Which
Oh my
was
god.
close to
Oh my
this.
god.
But regardless, as he looks down, and he's just like, "Hells, sovereigns be with us. This is more than I expected." Well, are there any more of those things?
I really hope not. That's why I'm in the bubble still.
Yeah,
Does
we will
the sound
usher the
can't come out
farmer
of the
into the
bubble?
bubble.
The farmer can't go through the bubble either. You kind of
that's right.
got him, and he's just like hits his head on it, and you're like, "Oh shoot, that's right."
Sorry, my bad.
The bubble, and he's left outside with a dead werewolf.
Let me in.
Yeah, no. Cade will stay outside. So we fought the creature, and when we killed it, the skin transformed into this poor woman. Do you recognize her?
And he kind of, for the first time, very slowly looks in a bit, kind of just like it takes him a little while to get past all of the gore. Oh, gosh, is that Tabitha? She's one of the servants up at the keep. Goodness, she looks terrible. That's an awful thing to happen. Yeah.
Have there been any rumors about disappearances up at the keep? Any weird things happening in the last few days?
Any new visitors to the keep?
Ooh, that's a very good one, too.
Not that I know of. I only make a trip in there about once a week, though.
Is your trip in coming up?
I suppose it could be. Yeah, I'm certainly gonna have to tell people about this.
How about
Yes.
we take your trip into the keep, and then we tell people?
Oh no, you misunderstand. I take a trip into town, not into the keep.
I see.
Look, here's something important. I'm new to this as well. But my very well learned traveling companions here, they say that it's a curse. So she had to be infected. So another creature like her attacked her, and that's how she became like this.
Hells.
It likely means that there's at least one other out there like her.
So you're saying my sheep ain't safe yet?
Well, I don't know.
I think
It's
we're
hard-
saying that your sheep are for the moment, but the town might not be.
Listen, y'all killed this thing, and so you can have the cart. But if you're willing to track down whatever made her this way, I had plans to give some gold and an amulet to anybody who was gonna to help take care of the wolves, they're yours if you can help us out. I don't know what's going on here, but you all seem to have...
at the group.
Roland is also looking at the group.
Most of them, you can't see.
The group is looking at the group.
Justira is still cleaning the blood off her fist.
Jeez.
Oh.
We can
prestidigitize.
we can just
Prestidigitize.
Yeah.
Prestidigitize.
we can discuss it. Honestly, we weren't expecting this at all. We were expecting wolves. But I think you need to tell the townspeople if there's a full moon, and I'll point at one of the full moons. It's not safe to go out at night. Not until this is resolved.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell them to fill a sock full of silver.
I'm sorry, what?
Boko, you gotta go out there. Tell them to fill a sock full of silver. Give them something at least.
Why a sock full of silver?
Evidently, they're weak against silver. I'm assuming that you don't use magic. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct, miss.
Oh, okay. They're supposed to be weak against silver. Magic seems to work just fine if you do happen to have people that can attack in that manner.
I can't say that I do. I don't know if anybody in the keep is. To my knowledge, we don't have any types of priests or even shamans around this part. There's a few in some other towns that I know of. I don't know. Point is, I think we should head in and make sure everybody knows if there's a full moon and you're saying these creatures come out during one, there could be other people being attacked right now.
Are you the only farmer that's been having issues?
As far as I know, but I'm closest to some of the taller mountains. Heron and Kanaya, they're a little closer towards the town. They run further to the west.
Okay, but they haven't had any issues yet.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
They certainly didn't post about it.
Fair. Have you seen them recently?
I think I saw Karen's wife Abigail out on one of my trips back from town a couple days ago.
How many?
I'm gonna kind of give Roland a wary look.
If it wasn't in the last 4 days, they could, or last 3 days, they could be in danger still.
It was well. I put up that new bounty whenever. Well, the first day I got my sheep in, I put a bounty up on the board. And the second day it happened, I switched it up to the amulet, and that was all I really had. So I didn't make a trip in yesterday. So it would have been the day before yesterday, so 2 days ago.
Okay. Jeez. Okay. Well, let's... This is a person from your town. What should we do with her body?
Oof.
Do we take it back to the keep and show them what has happened?
That's above my pay grade. I'm sure they'll want to do some sort of funeral rites, and I can't think that we would want to leave her out here, but it might be tough to convince everybody on what this story is, because it sounds a little crazy. And so,
agreed.
Seeing it in the context might speak something, so I'll leave it up to your discretion.
Real quick, the village down the way with the keep, Is that a lord? Does he rule over this area? What function? Does the keep rule over you, this village?
It's Lady Lydia. She acts as kind of I guess a lord or a baron for us, though it's always been a lot less official feeling than that from what I gather from other folks.
But she's officially in charge of these lands.
Yeah. Yeah, and she represents us to the larger folks. I think there's some sort of prince over this whole area or something.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, I don't know. Roland, thoughts? I'm kind of inclined to agree with him that this is very hard to believe and explain without the context of the situation, so perhaps we leave the scene as is?
Yes. Morning, I can say a prayer over the remains and provide some funeral rites.
And as you all are talking, there is this thunder similar to the one that Cade conjured, just and soft drops of rain begin to fall.
Point of order, while we're talking about this, either our brand new horses were hitched outside of the bubble and thus very close to being attacked by a werewolf.
I assume they were hitched
cuddling with us within the bubble.
Yeah, I assume they were up at the hut.
farm.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we travel, we're gonna have to make some decisions. But
Yeah, I assumed they were up tied at the
yeah,
at
there would be no
Cyrus's
reason for us to-
house.
That's why I
Werewolf
wanted
snack,
sheep
PM.
for bait. I just bought these horses. I don't want to get eaten yet.
Yeah, hopefully at all. I
No,
feel like
I
now
don't
that
have
we
that
are,
faith.
yeah,
It's
now that we
D&D.
are away from the water, we are less likely to be eaten.
Away from the water into the werewolves.
Okay, so we're leaving the scene as is. Is there a town law enforcement that we bring out, or do we wait till morning?
How far away is morning? Because I think we're at third watch.
It was second, so it's like 4 hours into the night, so near about halfway. Cyrus kind of looks at you all. We've got a basic militia, and there's a few guards that kind of watch over the keep and ensure that nobody gets too rowdy. But we don't have anything organized like an army or anything.
So, no authority in town, just at the keep?
Yeah, Lady Lydia. She's the ruling, governing official. She handles anything when there's a need for a magistrate of some kind.
Okay. Politics. It's too late for this.
I think we start with the town.
Yes.
Get them on our side, and a lady tends to be more willing to believe strangers showing up talking about monsters when all of her constituents already believe them.
That's fair.
Also, on our way, we should check the other farms nearby. If they are missing creatures, it seems that we are dealing with more than one of these creatures.
Yes.
Is Lady Lydia a newly established figurehead here?
It doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
And if you ask about it, he can confirm that she's been around for a little while.
She's not moving in, first name Fido, anything like that. Okay.
No, not quite.
Okay. Do we go tonight or first thing in the morning?
I think we should warn everybody that those creatures are out there.
I think we should probably do it tonight because the full moon's still tonight. If they was going to do anything, they're going to do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, how do we want to do this? I'm not fond of splitting up, but I think someone has to remain here with this. I mean, I suppose if Clyde, you stay in the bubble and just keep an eye on everything?
I mean, I can, but if something comes to get it, I'm not going to be much use to getting it to not do that.
Well, more than just you. Greta would... Okay.
I
Actually want to know what Greta was concerned about.
Boko, you just kind of watching her as all this is going on, she was fiercely debating whether or not to attack and be involved. And up until now, she hasn't used her weapon in any of the fights that you guys have been associated with.
Was there something different about this one, or was it the same sort of abstinence from combat?
It seems to be related, where she wants to help, she wants to protect you guys, but also has this lingering, I've never been in an actual battle before, and this monster is kind of terrifying, and even though I might be able to factor in my courage, I'm also supposed to be pacifistic. There's a lot going through her mind that you can kind of like gauge and
then
see.
6 seconds is over and it's dead, and she
exactly, yeah. There's just that internal conflict.
I am going to put on my quest list that
teach Greta violence.
Me and Jasira should spar with Greta.
Oh, I'll spar. Let's go.
You don't want to punitively spar with her. This is more of a mentor.
Stunning strike. Stunning strike.
I'm gonna learn you some Constitution. Okay. Stunning strike.
I'll be nice.
So, Roland, Clyde, Greta, why don't you all stay here? The rest of us are going to make our way into town and start warning anyone we see that's still out and check on the farms on the way in. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get a move on. I think time is kind of the essence if there is something else out there.
So you're heading into town first and then checking on the farms? Is that correct?
Are there farms on the way into town, or is it? Is there nothing on the way?
Yeah, if you want to go straight line to the town, like there's nothing on the way. But the farms are kind of on you could make like an arc, and it would take you longer to get to the town, but you could hit up the farms on the way and get to the town in kind of like this curved line along the hills.
Let's check the farms.
Do we split
this
up?
Been getting attacked.
Boko made me really fast.
No. How about
Ruh-roh, Raggy.
Might just want to take the.
Let's check the farms. They haven't nothing straight into town so far. It's a big population center. The people that are isolated are probably more likely to be attacked.
I agree. We should travel quickly. Perhaps we wake the horses.
I don't think horses have good night vision, dude.
we have a full moon and many other moons. It's bright enough.
Yeah, but it's a tiny full.
We have all the moons.
It's one of the 3 big ones that's full.
We only have.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
We only have 1 riding horse and a party. We're probably better off just jogging.
You have 2 draft horses, a riding horse.
Yes.
So there's 3 total horses.
I only bought a saddle for the riding horse because I figured the others would be attached to the wagon.
That's fair.
Oof, yeah,
gotta go
we
bareback.
need to run then.
Okay, so Jasira, Theschault, Clyde, Sendry, and Cyrus.
Cade and a farmer.
Yeah. You guys are all... did you decide if you're hitting up the farms first and kind of arcing into the town?
Clyde's staying
yes.
because he's staying with the bubble.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Clyde, Roland, and Greta are staying.
Greta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, you guys begin to beat off into the night, and maybe 20-30 minutes of kind of sprinting along towards where Cyrus is at. And Cyrus is not exactly the fastest, but he's moving for an old guy. And he gets to where this farm is with Kanan and his wife Abigail, and kind of you begin to kind of bang on the doors, and it takes a little while, but eventually this older gentleman kind of walks up and looks out. What is going on? Cyrus, is that you? Aaron, you gotta get Abigail, and we gotta get out of here. This is dangerous. You haven't heard? Abigail she's not with us anymore. She was attacked last night. And there's just like this sadness immediately over Cyrus's face as you all kind of look around.
Not to be...
Was she attacked by a monster?
I thought it was like a bear, is what it looked like.
There was
Close
nothing
enough.
left.
There was, well, not much.
We killed one of those creatures over at his farm half an hour ago.
You all killed a bear?
It's not
It wasn't a bear.
fair.
What are we talking about? A lion, a mountain lion, a dire wolf?
Have you ever heard of a werewolf?
You're telling me there's a werewolf out there?
Hopefully no longer. But we cannot be sure.
I mean, I've heard the stories, but they're not supposed to be real.
I assure you they're very real.
Go ahead and I'll let whoever wants to in the group can make me a persuasion check at advantage.
I'm
Can
willing
Clyde
to.
from the bubble?
No, Clyde is not here. Theschault, yeah, you can make
I'm
one.
more than willing to. It's like as I kind of step up and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Not as much a myth as something that no longer existed, but seems we were mistaken. So you said persuasion at advantage?
Yeah.
Advantage.
Oh, sweet.
You mean
Come on!
we left charisma, inspiration, and guidance all back in the bubble?
and the two people that had intimate knowledge
man,
of
he's got-
werewolves.
He's got persuasion.
I have good persuasion.
I'm actually really impressed.
What did you do? What the fuck?
He's a salesman.
Listen, what you're saying kind of makes sense now that I think about it. All that I found was her hand left, not even bones or body, and if there's something going on, what are you all doing? Are we gotta go? Have you warned the town yet? Everybody needs to know. Do you mind if I come with you? It can't be safe out
Please.
here.
We're running on the outskirt farms and we're heading into town. We're picking up the people most likely to be attacked, which I'm sorry to say it appears you already were.
Poor Abigail. And
But please,
there is a portion of time as he kind of gathers a few things together and kind of straps a small blade to his waist, and you guys continue on to the next farm. It takes a little bit longer. he's older for sure, and you all have to make sure to kind of guide him along, but you don't run into anything else on the way there. The next farm doesn't appear to be to have been hit. It's another younger man, maybe in his late 30s or 40s. You kind of grab him along before heading in towards the town. As you guys reach the edge of the town, what are you doing?
On our travels, can we update them on the spark notes of werewolf facts that were given to us by Clyde and Roland?
Yeah,
That's
sure.
a good idea.
Sure.
Park notes.
We made it to the other farm?
Yeah, you already picked up the other
Okay.
farmer. They didn't have any attacks or any signs of anything, and then made it back to the town. And so once you guys hit the edge of the town, what are you doing? Where are you going?
I think we would ask the farmers of like, what do we need to do next? This is your town. These are your people. Like, who do we
Yeah,
need
is
to
there
talk
like
to?
Yeah.
A warning bell or something of some kind?
Yeah, absolutely. Cyrus kind of looks over. We can ring the bell in the keep and notify some of the guards there. They can get Lady Lydia. All right, moving over with that group, you immediately go to kind of notify them. It takes some convincing, but with the farmers kind of persuading you as well, they rally kind of the bell to get people's attention. And it takes some time, but eventually these villagers begin to kind of group up towards this center as you all are waiting for this ruler to kind of come out. In the meantime, Roland, Clyde, and Greta, as you're kind of sitting in the bubble, waiting and watching, the rain begins to kind of fall down heavier.
I was about to say, Clyde, can you cast this again and cast it as much as I don't want to spend
Over
the
the
night
body.
with the corpse? It would be good to preserve the scene.
All right. Is the body just outside the bubble?
Yeah, it's like just outside.
All right. Clyde will scoot over, sit down, and ritually cast tiny hut again, so that it's the 10-foot bubble encasing the body as well.
And he
Technically, you're
stays
protected
perfectly
from the
dry while
rain.
doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, while you're
Right.
All right, so you're casting it
Yeah.
from within the bubble, just kind of on the side, so that you're protected
Yeah,
from the
just
rain.
scooting over.
All right. Roland, go ahead and give me a
Hopefully
perception.
grabbing the sheep,
I
too.
guess that's. Yeah,
And this is why, because I don't trust nothing with one werewolf.
You shouldn't.
Also, if there is a pack of werewolves here, you guys are functionally a hamster ball of snacks for them,
Mm-hmm.
which is
In the ball.
amazing.
We're also
Nobody
a
knows
hamster
spell
ball
magic.
of death because I
Nobody
can
knows.
shoot through the bubble.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty violent.
You are a spicy snack within this hamster ball.
Why is it
Okay.
spicy?
What's
So-
what? Maybe that's Roland's new nickname, Carolina Reaper.
Oh, there you go.
Roland, as you're looking out into the darkness, there is this heavy, thick rain that has begun to fall, just dropping onto the area. Clyde is kind of scooted over and is in the middle of casting this new tiny hut, and you can see the magic flowing around as it begins to channel and shift in its space. And Greta kind of like nervously is watching and waiting, and Roland, as you're scanning across, looking, observing, you suddenly see it. Two piercing red eyes. They are maybe 30 feet away and closing as they move in on top of the body. Another large creature of just probably 10 or 11 feet tall. This one kind of walking up on its, kind of crouched over where most of the movement is coming from the back legs, but it's still kind of hunched over as it moves to kind of sniff on top of the body. And just this brilliant white fur. Nearby, another comes from the soft rain. This one, a kind of soft orange coloration to its fur. And you hear a howl kind of split through the area around as Clyde, you're still in the process of casting the spell. Roland, are you doing anything? Greta is kind of in this moment just jaw open as she's kind of looking to you for an indication.
You complete this cast, it's going to be in there with you.
Well,
No, it's not too good.
cut off one head, two more shall take its place. I just found two more. Yeah, no, I'm taking a shot.
All right. So
Like, as soon as I see the two glowing red eyes, I'm gonna put another bullet between them.
all right.
Reach just your arms out, grab the legs, and drag the body in.
It was outside. It can't.
Well,
wait.
technically it's an
can't be
object
brought-
now.
Thing, yeah,
but it was
not a
outside.
person.
But it can't be brought in because it was outside when this was cast.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because it stops like arrows from flying
Yes,
in too.
nothing is allowed in.
Yep.
Wait, sorry.
So we either have
You guys-
no evidence,
Have one job.
Kill
or I have to kill more.
So, Roland, as you raise this rifle, they are literally right next to you. It is 5 feet, and they can't see into this dome, but you can see their breath breathing out in the rain. You can see the immense forms, the piercing eyes that are in here, as both of them are kind of sniffing over the corpse. And you raise that rifle.
I'm gonna tap Clyde first. and get him to stop casting the new spell and then back up.
Oh shit!
Yeah. Hey,
He doesn't have dark vision.
yeah, I can't see. Yeah,
and
sure.
it's not completely dark here, but it's just very difficult to see.
Mostly.
And as you kind of get Clyde
You're
back,
gonna get bardic inspiration if you're gonna make an attack.
okay, Clyde, you just throw out this inspiration in this panic as you're kind of
All right,
scooting
you got
back on the grass, and Roland raises this rifle, and there is a as he takes a shot, and that is where we'll pick up next time. Thank you so much for joining us this time. We'll have a week break for the Super Bowl, and then we'll be back for whatever this may lead to. So we'll catch you up then.